Alright, now you've probably had some good bao before, but can you imagine how good it'd be if you combined it with some Korean fried chicken from Kenji López-Alt? Let's find out. Of course, we can't talk about bao without talking about buns. So I'm going to show you how to get these things pillowy soft. So to a cup and a half of warm whole milk, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of white sugar and give it a stir until dissolved. Then add 2 teaspoons or 1 packet of rapid dry yeast and let rise for 10 minutes. Then to a large mixing bowl, add 4 cups all-purpose flour, half teaspoon of kosher salt, and 2 teaspoons baking powder and give it a mix. Now add your milk and yeast mixture into the bowl and mix until you have a shaggy dough. Now if your dough's too dry like mine was, you can get your hands wet and knead for a few minutes until it's the right consistency. Then we're going to put this dough back into the bowl and cover and let it sit for 10 minutes. After that time, we're going to take out the dough and knead for a minute. Then take a large mixing bowl, grease with some neutral oil, drop the dough in, cover, and let rise for at least an hour. Once done, the dough should roughly be about double in size, and it's got a bunch of air in it, so you can take your anger out and punch it, poke it, whatever you gotta do. This next part is a little bit of a workout, and that's rolling out the dough. So I'm taking a large work surface, put a little bit of flour on it, and we're gonna roll this until we get it about 1/4 inch thick. Now for cutting out the buns, I prefer to use a biscuit cutter, but you could also use the opening of a cup, and we're gonna add these onto a separate tray. Now to make sure that they don't stick together, we're going to brush them with a little bit of a neutral oil, so vegetable or avocado, then fold them over and lightly press them together. This recipe ended up making about 15 to 18 of these buns, and once done, you're going to wrap them with some plastic wrap and let sit for 20 minutes. In order to cook bao, you're going to need a bamboo steamer basket. So over a large pot of lightly simmering water, we're going to add the basket and then add our bao about 5 or 6 at a time. You're going to turn the heat to low and cover and cook for 10 minutes. And once that 10 minutes is over, you're going to turn the heat off and let sit for another 4 minutes. Once done, you should hopefully have some beautiful pillowy bao, and you just want to keep these things warm while you make the rest or the rest of the dish. Now, in order to have great Korean chicken, we need to have an incredible sauce. And guess what? I've got 2 of them for you. We're going to start by taking 4 garlic cloves, and we're looking for a fine mince here, and then you're going to want to take this and set it aside. Next, take a 1-inch knob of fresh ginger, make sure it's plenty peeled, and in the same fashion, we're going to finely mince this and then set it away from the garlic. Then you're going to take 2 to 3 green onions and you're going to thinly slice up until you get to the light green part. First, we're going to make a sweet and spicy chili sauce. So to a small bowl, add 1/4 cup gochujang, 3 tablespoons brown sugar, 2 tablespoons light soy sauce, 1 tablespoon rice vinegar, and 1 tablespoon roasted sesame oil. Then add half, and I repeat, half of your minced ginger and garlic and give this thing a whisk until it's nice and smooth. Luckily, this sauce doesn't require any sort of cooking and you can make it way ahead of time. The second sauce is a sweet soy ginger glaze. So to another bowl, add 3/4 cup brown sugar, half cup light soy sauce, 1/4 cup mirin, 2 tablespoons rice vinegar, 2 teaspoons roasted sesame oil, and a half teaspoon of gochujang. Now add the rest of your minced ginger and garlic and give this thing a whisk until all that brown sugar has dissolved. To thicken the sauce, we're going to make a cornstarch slurry of 1 tablespoon cornstarch and 1 tablespoon water and give it a mix. Now over medium-low heat, add in our sauce along with that cornstarch slurry into a pan and then bring this to a simmer. This only needs to simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes until it makes streaks in the pan. Then add 2 tablespoons toasted sesame seeds and our green onion from earlier and give it a mix off heat. Feel free to make this ahead of time as it stores really well in the fridge. Now to make this bao extra good, we're going to make a cucumber slaw. To start, we're going to take 1 large cucumber and you're going to thinly slice and then cut into half moons and place in a separate bowl. Then take 2 green onions and we're going to thinly slice, and this time we're not stopping at the light green part, we're going to thinly slice the whole way through. In a separate bowl, we're going to add 1/3 cup Greek yogurt, 2 tablespoons mayo, 2 tablespoons rice vinegar, 1 tablespoon sweet Thai chili sauce, 1 teaspoon roasted sesame oil, and 1 teaspoon chili crunch. Then add a pinch of sesame seeds and kosher salt, and then add your green onions from earlier and give this thing a good mix. Finally, add in your cucumbers, give it another good mix, and your slaw is done. Okay, so for our filling, we're going to be making some Korean chicken. So we're going to start with 2 to 3 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, remove the extra fat, and cut into medium pieces. For this first coating, we're going to add 1/3 cup of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon kosher salt, and a half teaspoon of baking powder, and give it a mix. Now we're going to add all of our chicken into this mixture and coat until there are no bare pieces remaining. Then Jay Kenji says to transfer this over to a wire rack and put in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. Once done, that first coating should be dried to the chicken. Now we need to make our wet batter, so to a large bowl add 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, 3/4 cup cornstarch, half teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 tablespoon kosher salt, and give it a mix. Then add 3/4 cup of cold water, and now for the fun part, add 3/4 cup of vodka of your choice, and then give it a mix until you have a smooth consistency. Jay Kenji does say it should be the consistency of wet paint, but I felt like mine was a little thin, so I just added more flour and cornstarch. Next step is to add our chicken into the batter, about 4 to 5 pieces at a time. Make sure to drip some of that extra batter off and then add onto a tray. For frying the chicken, we're going to fill up the wok with some vegetable oil, get it to 350 degrees, and drop in about 4 to 5 pieces at a time. You'll want to flip occasionally, and these will take about 5 to 6 minutes to cook, and you'll know they're done when they're a light golden brown. Now these aren't going to get as dark golden brown as other fried chickens, so don't wait till that point, otherwise they're going to be really overcooked. Now we need to sauce up the chicken, so we're going to take a small to medium mixing bowl and add a couple spoonfuls of that spicy Korean sauce and give it a mix until fully coated, and then same thing with our sweet soy ginger glaze. Add a couple pieces of chicken and couple spoonfuls and mix until fully coated. The plating for both of these baos is going to be the same besides the chicken, so take one bun and add in your soy ginger glaze, then add some of our cucumber slaw from earlier, and then I like to add in some of those carrots just for a different texture. You'll just want to repeat that same process with the spicy Korean chili chicken, and there you have it, 2 bao buns that are going to knock the socks off whoever you make them for.